Welcome to European Railway, the video magazine for the continental enthusiast. Chagny lies on the main line linking Dijon with Lyon, just north of Chalon-sur-Saône. The town of Chagny lies around 700 feet above sea level and has a population of around 5,500. The diesel-operated line to Montchanin diverges here from the main electrified line operating under the 1500-volt DC system. Arriving from the north is dual-voltage electric number BB26000 at the head of the 624 service from Dijon to Lyon-Parache. During the peak periods there is a rough 30-minute interval service, made up from a mixture of modern electric units to loco and coach formations, as seen here behind BB9282, a loco which entered traffic on 29th of July 1962 and is still active in the area. Freight was also seen, such as here with 26177. Rusting quietly away in the former goods yard is this graffiti-covered four-wheel shunter. One of an anticipated fleet of 250 is number Z27525, a ZGC unit that entered service on 5th of September 2005, and which leads sister unit number 27590. Both are allocated to Dijon depot and are seen here forming the 657 from Dijon to Lyon. Number 9242 slows with the 715 from Chalon-sur-Saône to Dijon. On 25th of May this year, this locomotive will celebrate its 50th birthday since being introduced to traffic. Goods traffic has long since been abandoned, and the former shed and offices are now empty and derelict. The station is situated on the southern part of a triangular junction with the line to Montchanin. There is also an electrified connection back onto the Dijon main line, which allows electric trains to access the western side of the station. Withdrawn on 4th of September 2008 after 33 years in traffic, number 4702 drifts into the station with the 856 from Montchanin to Châlons service. Class Y7400 shunter number 7569 drifts into the station from the south with a short engineer's train. X76521 arrives from the north with the 618 from Clermont-Ferrand to Dijon. This unit was introduced to traffic on 1st of September 2004 and is part of a new order for similar units being delivered for use right across France.
Chagny, ici Chagny. Assurez-vous de n'avoir rien oublié dans le train. Correspondant. C'est le numéro 3x2, le train express régional numéro 891 à destination de Dijon va partir.
Finally, dual voltage BB37500, operated by private firm Veolia, runs through with a northbound container train. There are two main rail routes that parallel each other along the Czech and Slovakian borders. We take a look at some of the traffic along the route in the Czech Republic before crossing the border for a short look at the trains on the route north of Bratislava. We begin at Osek nad Bekvou on the line up to Ostrava, as locomotive 163018 slows with the 0701 Strelna to Prerov stopping service. In the opposite direction is fellow classmate 163244, arriving with the 0650 from Břeclavi to Vsetín. This loco was part of a batch that were originally designated as Class 162, but received new bogies from Class 363s to become Class 163. They are more often found on passenger workings such as this, although they are beginning to find more use now on freight. Incidentally, the border with Slovakia is on the other side of the hill seen in the far distance. Freight services were roughly 2 per hour during our weekday morning stopover. This is 181074. (363-125) is seen running north light engine. For many years this class was the backbone of the former Czechoslovakian railways, with 182 locomotives being manufactured. Now Czech railways have around 116 left in traffic, with 35 being operated by Slovakian railways. Others have been reclassified after modifications. This is an example of a Class 162, number 017, seen heading this southbound freight. Looking rather weather-worn is 163041, which slows with the 0754 from Břeclavi. Finally, on the Czech side of the border, 363010 heads this southbound coal train. Over into Slovakia, and we're at Melčice, on the main line north of Bratislava to Žilina. As previously mentioned, the Class 363 electric is a universal loco in the Czech Republic, and so it is too here in Slovakia. Number 363135 heads the Fridays only 1250 Bratislava to Margecany. This was followed by a local pickup goods, headed by diesel locomotive number 742325. Built between 1977 and 1983, almost 500 were delivered to the old Czechoslovak Federation, whilst around 83 are still active in Slovakia today. Finally, we see 362008 heading north whilst working the 1350 Bratislavi to Košice. Jembach lies in the valley of the River Inn, between Vurgel and Innsbruck, and lies on the principal rail route linking southern Germany with Italy, as well as the main east-west route within Austria itself. In this section we sample mainline action just to the north of the town, at the country station of Münster-Weissing. Heading south towards the camera on Friday 14th of July 2007 are 1144275 and 229, on a trainload of lorries destined for the border at Brenner. DB's 182005 is on the rear. Following along behind is 1116083, heading the 1130 Eurocity service from Munich to Venice. In the opposite direction, 1116279 is in charge of this, the 0705, from Milan to Munich. Freight and passenger activity along this route is intense, and plans are afoot to add an extra 2 tracks to take the pressure off the current formation. 1016-016 pilots 1144-249 on this Italy-bound mixed freight. 1144-245 will provide banking assistance up the fierce gradients to Brenner Station. Some of the local services between Innsbruck and Rosenheim featured German locomotive-operated rolling stock. Here, 111036 is on the rear of this northbound service. We move now to just north of Jenbach station, as a TX Logistic operated freight heads north with 3 of their 18 Class 185s up front. These are, in order of appearance, numbers 531, 539 and 538. Finally, following on behind is 1044066, with 1116139 dead in tow. We now travel back to the Netherlands and to the main line north of Eindhoven on the route through Boxtel. We featured part 1 of this section in the previous edition of European Railway, as we now make our way once again to the junction just south of the town. The section through here is 4-track up to the station, where the lines up to Utrecht and west to Breda diverge. In our first scene, Plan V 2-car unit number 803 travels south with a local train for Eindhoven on 30th of June 2006. A northbound intercity service is powered by number 1829. The Class 1800 electrics just seen are in fact the original Class 1600, of which 58 were delivered from the French company Alstom in the early 1980s, being based on the French BB26000 design. Here, freight operated 1604 heads south. The station at Boxtel was modernised in the mid-1990s. This is the view of the new glass footbridge as we look north-east. The Plan T 4-car units are now being withdrawn. This one arrives from Eindhoven and is passed by Euroclass 66 number DE673 on hire from MRCE. IRM Regio Runner 6-car set number 8624 heads south. This unit was originally a 4-car class 8400, but became an 8600 after the addition of 2 further centre cars. This is just west of the station on the line to Tilburg, and 940 prepares to slow with another service bound for Eindhoven. Three Class 6400 diesels number 6464, 6421 and 6501 head this loaded iron ore train from Maasvlakte. Note the triple axle hopper wagons used on this service. With the cows sensing the rain that was about to arrive, number 1858 heads east with a train from Den Haag to Venlo. These trains are formed of ex-German Railways passenger stock. Finally, locomotive number 1602 is seen heading west with a container service for Kifhoek Yard just north of Dordrecht. With good amounts of passenger and a variety of freight traffic, this line is well worth a visit. Berlin has an orbital railway called the Außenring, which is designed to take away primarily freight traffic from the city centre stations. The line is currently very busy, especially so on the southern side, southeast of Potsdam. Our first train pierces the darkness as 145034 approaches with headlights on full and is seen in charge of this eastbound freight. Following up behind is diesel number 233572. There is an hourly local service to and from Potsdam, usually formed of Class 143 electrics, operating with just 2 passenger carriages. This is 143356. 143257 arrives with one of the Potsdam to Berlin airport local services. Class 101s are normally used on daytime express passenger services, but at night some are utilised on freight trains, such as in this case here with 101058. Finally, we leave Saarmund with this scene of ex-Dispolok Taurus hire loco on eastbound steel bars. We now move a few kilometres to the south and to Bielitz, which lies on the line from Berlin to Dessau. Arriving with a stopping service is 143256. Upon departure, the train is followed by a Class 152 hauled freight from the nearby Sedin yard. In Belgium, during the school holiday periods, a number of short loco-hauled trains are run to cope with the passenger numbers in the early morning and evening peak periods. Such services are known as P-trains and tend to employ some of the older types of electric locomotives on the network. We begin at the country station at Berlaar, as 3 AM80 series units race through on their way to Antwerpen. With the introduction of new Class 18 electrics for passenger services and similar Class 28 electrics for freight, Belgium will see a cascading of locomotive types, with Class 25 and Class 23 virtually eliminated over the coming year or so. Scenes such as this, then, are soon to become a distant memory, as one of the 5 surviving 1961-built Class 25, number 2510, arrives with the 646 from Hasselt to Antwerpen on 2nd July 2007. There are 3 northbound trains diagrammed for older electrics through Berlard in the morning. The final of the 3 morning loco hold sets is the 755 from Aarschot, seen arriving behind Class 23, number 2337. As already mentioned, the introduction of Class 28, or Tracks 186 as they are also known, has seen the reduction of Class 23 operating along this route. 20 Class 28 were available for use on 14th of December when the electrification was completed between Montsanyard and Aachen in Germany. We now move just to the south of the station at Liège, as 2728 provides rear-end power on this train bound for Turnhout. In the opposite direction, and a bit of a surprise, was the appearance of these two French BB26000 diesels, presumably on a driver training run. Just metres away from the south end of the station, we see 2311 and 2357 with loaded oil tanks for Liège. Finally, 2369 and 2304 head for Liège, with coal for the city steelworks. Class 23 can still be found working on these lines, but time is running short for these and other early Belgian electrics. On the 14th of December timetable change in Portugal, the last of the old DMUs working the local trains between Barreiro and Praiasado were replaced by Class 2300 electric units. We take a look at these as well as a few other goings on at Praiasado on 11th of July 2007. Approaching the station is Unit 0651 with a service from Barreiro. These units have now been transferred to the north of the country. At the same location, diesel number 1908 has just come out of the Pyrites discharge terminal after depositing loaded wagons. The DMUs themselves took over from locomotive and stock formations used in the 1990s and early 2000s, which used to employ Class 1400, 1500, 1520, as well as the popular English electric Class 1800s. This was followed by 5607 on the afternoon intercity to Faro. Finally, we caught up with 1565 at Canal Cavera on its way south to Funchera. We return once again to France, which is seeing huge amounts of investment in rolling stock and new locomotives, meaning that the old traditional types of trains will soon be disappearing. In the southwest corner of France, we look at the lines to the north and west of Dax and eastwards to Lourdes, close to the northern foothills of the Pyrenees. We begin on Monday 14th of July 2008, just southwest of Dax. A 7316 heads the 0809 from Dax, which is the overnight train from Paris to Irun. Note the curved catenary supports, which are common in this part of France. Local services are operated by a mixture of new and older electric units, such as early 1980s unit number 17311. Freight traffic is rather scarce along this route. Heading north is 7321 on empty oil tanks for the port of Fosse, near Marseille. TGVs are also seen on services to and from Paris. The only other freight we saw was this one, headed by 7304. As it heads south at just after 8:30 in the morning. A pair of Z21500 units form the 0820 from Bordeaux to Hendaye, seen here passing through the station at Saubus. North of Dax, near Bourgelos, 7329 heads north with a train from Tarbes to Bordeaux. The station here is the junction with a private freight line to Tata. In the sidings are locomotives belonging to operator VFL. These are numbers BB26000 and a pair of BB26000 shunters, numbers 3 and 11, both dating from 1965. We now move to the town of Lourdes, and heading north is Z7300 electric unit number 17345, with a local service for Tarbes. TGV set number 31 pulls out of the station with the 745 from Paris. The train terminates at Tarbes, its next station stop. Running over the Ozon viaduct on the Cap Verne bank to the east of Tournai is this BB9300, the 0859 from Toulouse. We now move to the east of Montreuil, as 9335 is seen in charge of the 0701 Pau to Toulouse service. These locomotives, a development of the BB9200 series, work over much of the central and southwest of the country. 36 out of the original 40 locomotives are still in use. Also to be found working along these lines and around Toulouse are the last remaining BB8500 electrics. With the Pyrenees in the background, number 8607 heads an early morning commuter service for Toulouse. 26 locomotives of this type are currently allocated to the region. It has to be said that the overhead catenary on the branch to Luchon is looking the worse for wear, and some investment will be needed before long. Heading out of Montrejeau is 8627 on the 0541 departure from Toulouse to Luchon. Finally, we are at Le Boila, as 7258 heads the 0605 from Hendaye to Toulouse through some magnificent countryside. As we draw to a close, we hope once again that you have enjoyed this edition of European Railway.